You know, oftentimes I introduce my videos by saying, this is a sickness. Well, now you will finally get to realize why the PlayStation community is known as the sickest community this side of the Western Hemisphere. You know, some have wondered, why is the PlayStation so successful? Some say it's the games, the single player narrative games. Some say it's the ecosystem. Well, new information came out and you are going to find out what is the secret sauce. Yes, the secret sauce in the horse that has the PlayStation so successful. In addition to that, we're going to see how some is damage controlling, the buckle that is Naughty Dog. We're going to see how some of them are even getting some kickback from their damage controlling. We're going to talk about all that and more. So you know what? Let's get it.
This is a sickness!
Let's get it. Before we start, if you like content like this, please consider subscribing. You get the good, you get the bad, and you get the booyaka. Don't forget, subscribe. First up, at the end of every year, Google have the most trending topics. They have the most trending food, the most trending movies, and of course the most trending video games. And you won't believe, the top 3 video games that was trending this year, the most searched terms for video games this year, 2023. This is the list. Yes, so if you notice the list here, Baldur's Gate is number 1, Tears of the Kingdom is number 2, and Starfield is number 3. One thing we noticed about this list, Spider-Man 2 was nowhere to be found. As a matter of fact, no PlayStation game or on the top 10 list, is to be found here on this trending screen. And that is because Sony really did not put out any sort of game this year, and hence, they didn't have any sort of hype surrounding any game this year. So yes, the top 3 games of the year according to Google was Baldur's Gate, Tears of the Kingdom, and Starfield. Next, let's talk about Baldur's Gate. We know that the Sony community has a phrase that Xbox players don't buy games. Xbox players are cheap. Xbox players are just waiting for games on Game Pass. That's the narrative that they have always used against Xbox players. Now, when it came to Baldur's Gate, this is what Reforge Gaming said. Listen up.
Baldur's Gate 3 was shadow dropped on Xbox. That whole thing is weird. That'll hijack the whole discussion. Under the discussion of shadow drops, that I don't know why you shadow drop that. That hasn't seemingly gotten any traction on that platform, that's a whole other discussion. That delayed release I can't believe how little that game is being played over there. It's the game of the year. It's not even in the top 50 most played games on Xbox. Like, what in the world? That's a whole discussion. That's a whole discussion about what that looks like to the public and to the developers and to publishers when the game of the year drops over there and it can't even get on top 50 most played. I don't want to sidetrack the discussion. That might be its own talk show, honestly, because I'm interested in discussing it, but not today. I personally don't give a rip about how much a game does or doesn't advertise as well. Baldur's.
So what Reforge is saying here is that ever since the Baldur's Gate developers still drop Baldur's Gate 3 on the Xbox platform, that no one is playing it. And he's saying it was a bad decision to still drop that. He's saying that, it didn't move the needle for Baldur's Gate. He said it's really sad that no one on Xbox is playing Baldur's Gate. Now, notice what the Baldur's Gate developer said about the Xbox community and Baldur's Gate. So very AFK, this is a Baldur's Gate 3 dev said this: shout out to the Xbox players who put Baldur's Gate 3 in the number 1 spot. It does mean a lot to see you guys buying the game, having waiting so long. You never know how these things are going to go. So it means a lot. So what this did here, guys, is that it really showed Reforge Gaming and all the rest of Sony fans that, Xbox players does buy games. Xbox players support the developers, and it's very clear in that tweet. So this is another great news for Xbox players, for the Baldur's Gate 3 devs, that this game is back up to #1 thanks to Xbox players. Let me hear what you think about this in the comment sections below. Since the news came out that Naughty Dog is going to cancel Factions 2, a lot of Sony fans are trying to damage control that news. A lot of Sony fans are saying this is good. Well, there's one particular Sony fan who has stopped at nothing to try to damage control what happened here to Naughty Dog. He is acting just as he pretends not to be similar to Xbox fans when it is he calls Xbox fans concubines. So listen to Portorock as he tries to damage control the disaster that was Naughty Dog. Portorock said, "I am so glad that when it came down to the two choices, they made the one majority ones from Naughty Dog.
Where is Factions?
Also knowing they are working on more than one new single player game is a win." Now, there are some persons calling out these sick ponies like Portorock. Listen to this guy here.
And they're pandering to that. So people are going to read this. Well, okay, that means they're just going to focus back to single player narrative games. That's what I want. That's what I always wanted them to do anyway. Oh, no problem for me. This is great news to me. A bunch of you bald bozers are going to say that. I sure. Oh, I didn't want this anyway. Back to single player games, which is great.
Yes, so BG from the Broken Games podcast, he predicted that Sony fans, the ponies, the fanatics like Portorock would say that this is a win. He predicted that ponies would say this is no big deal, that Naughty Dog cancelled Factions. He went on to say even this.
Like what? They gonna eat that right up, right? Yo, Naughty Dog, yeah, that's right. Go Naughty Dog, focus on single player games. Shut up. Y'all got no spine. Y'all just run with whatever the companies and the overlords tell y'all. They telling y'all, okay, it's all about single player, and y'all just going, okay, cool. Y'all are not, a lot of y'all not even gonna look at this like a failure. This is a failure. This is absolutely a failure. Naughty Dog has failed. I'm not saying it's all on them, but they have failed here.
So what BG is saying here, he's calling out Portorock, he's calling out MBG and all the ponies damage controlling this move. They are not man. They are not even a Pokemon. You know what they are? This is the type of man they are.
Man must stand up like man. Man must act like man. Man must behave like man. Man must take decision like man. Eh? You weak jellyback. Oh jeez, me not deal with jellyback man. Me love man, we are man. We stand up like man. We talk like man. We act like man. We behave like man. Man are man.
Yes, Tanti, they are not men. They can't stand up against Sony. They can't say something bad about Sony. So let me hear what you think about all of this, damage controlling for Sony. Let me hear about it in the comment sections below. Now it's time for the final story. Let's talk about Corn. Yes, Corn Hub.
I love cone. Cone.
Now you see, every year, Corn Hub would have put out some stats and statistics about which platforms, which video game platforms, watch Corn Hub as much as any other platform. And consistently for years, the PlayStation community has won hands down, right? They would have won maybe 60%, 70% or what have you. PlayStation fans are leading in liking corn.
I love cone. Cone.
So being the end of 2023, you know, some new stats just came out as to which platform, when it comes to Xbox, the Switch, or PlayStation 5, which platform have the most viewers of corn? Well, look at this list. So as you can see, the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 has 80% of corn viewers. Now this explains a lot because, you know, for a while I've been puzzled as to why the Sony community is so sick. Why the Sony community, they have so many deviants. And this explains it. You see, these guys, it's a sickness. Why it is, these guys don't even play games. So this is the secret sauce in the PlayStation community. This is why Sony sells all this amount of consoles, is because there's a lot of deviants that are buying the console just to view corn. Now, what is surprising about this is that the PlayStation 5 don't even have an internet browser, so they have to go through a lot of things in order to partake of their corn. So this again is just another reason why it is, the Sony community is so sick. Things are starting to become clear as to why the PlayStation community, according to Cornhub, is the most viewers of corn. Sick! But let me hear what you think about all of this in the comment sections below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.